Last week, we took decisive action to stop a ruthless terrorist from threatening American lives. At my direction, the United States military eliminated the world's top terrorist, Qasem Soleimani. As the head of the Quds Force, Soleimani was personally responsible for some of the absolutely worst atrocities. He trained terrorist armies, including Hezbollah, launching terrorist strikes against civilian targets. He fueled bloody civil wars all across the region. He viciously wounded and murdered thousands of U.S. troops, including the planting of roadside bombs that maim and dismember their victims.
Now, as I mentioned, there was a briefing, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, and the Democrats came away from the briefing claiming that they were not at all convinced that Soleimani posed an imminent threat. There were two Republicans who made similar comments, Mike Lee from Utah and Rand Paul from Kentucky. I got a question. Everybody agrees, even the Democratic candidates, that Soleimani's hands dripped with the blood of hundreds of Americans. Everybody agrees he is the one who helped make the IEDs more deadly, more efficient. Everybody agrees. Everybody agrees that he is the guy who was leading this organization that's been designated by the Trump State Department as a terror organization. Everybody agrees with that. So what difference does it make whether or not he was planning an attack on Tuesday or 2 years from now? I don't get it. I don't get why the White House believes that they needed to say he posed an imminent threat. We're at war, are we not? Are we not at war on terror? Had a shot at this guy on Iraqi soil, and it was taken. And when Susan Rice was asked, well, isn't it true that you guys restrained from taking him out because you felt that the benefits would be outweighed by the risks, by the disadvantages? And instead of saying, well, even if we had, we still wouldn't have done it for blah, blah, she said, we didn't have an opportunity. Neither the intel community nor the military gave us an opportunity to take out Soleimani. That's what she said. Doesn't that imply that had we had a shot at it, we might have taken it? So what is this stuff all about it has to be an imminent threat? Attacks days away? Back to Trump.
By removing Soleimani, we have sent a powerful message to terrorists. If you value your own life, you will not threaten the lives of our people. As we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression, the United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime. These powerful sanctions will remain until Iran changes its behavior.
The president has also argued that it is the 8 years of appeasement during the Obama administration that led us to this point. And of course that's true. This Iranian deal did not have provisions where the inspectors could come anytime they wanted without any notice. It did not include anything at all about their intercontinental ballistics program, nor did it say anything at all about their exportation of terror. It was a ridiculous agreement that gave them a march toward getting a nuclear weapon in about, 10 or 15 years? Oh, great. We've staved off them from getting a nuke for 10 or 15 years. What a wonderful deal. Are you kidding me?
Soleimani directed the recent attacks on U.S. personnel in Iraq that badly wounded 4 service members and killed 1 American, and he orchestrated the violent assault on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. In recent days, he was planning new attacks on American targets, but we stopped him. Soleimani's hands were drenched in both American and Iranian blood. He should have been terminated long ago.
Iran has announced it is pulling from the Iranian deal. Now, the Iranian deal had several partners to it. We were just one of them. So if Iran is a nation that intends to use nuclear power for peaceful purposes, why should they pull from the deal? I don't get it. And they're claiming now they pulled from the deal because we did. So let me just try to get my arms around this. We enter into a deal with somebody who feels if you pull out from that deal unilaterally, you should be killed. Isn't there something fundamentally corrupt about such a deal?
In recent months alone, Iran has seized ships in international waters, fired an unprovoked strike on Saudi Arabia, and shot down 2 U.S. drones. Iran's hostilities substantially increased after the foolish Iran nuclear deal was signed in 2013. And they were given $150 billion, not to mention $1.8 billion in cash.
888-971-SAGE.